Your personal philosophy is the seed from which every result in your life grows. Everything, your health, your wealth, your happiness, your relationships, begins with how you think about life. Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." That single line defines the essence of personal philosophy. Because the truth is, life doesn't respond to your wishes, it responds to your mindset. Some people drift through life reacting to circumstances, while others rise and create circumstances. The difference lies in the philosophy they live by. If your thoughts are small, your results will be small. If your beliefs are limited, your actions will be limited. But the moment you decide to reprogram the way you think, everything begins to shift. You begin to notice opportunities that were invisible before. You start to attract better people, better ideas, and better habits. You stop blaming luck and start building character. Life is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice, and those choices come from your philosophy. You are the architect of your mind, and your mind is the architect of your destiny. Change how you think, and you change everything that follows. Your personal philosophy acts like a compass. It points the direction you're heading long before you arrive. Think about this: two people can be in the same storm, but one sees disaster while the other sees discipline. One curses the rain, the other plants in it. That difference is not luck, it's philosophy. Your philosophy is not formed overnight. It's shaped by what you listen to, what you read, who you associate with, and what you choose to believe about yourself. Most people never stop to question the ideas that run their lives. They inherit beliefs about money, success, love, and happiness from those around them, and never pause to ask, does this belief serve me? That's where greatness begins, with awareness. When you start feeding your mind with powerful thoughts, you begin to break the old patterns. You begin to rise. You stop living as a copy of someone else's expectations and start becoming the original version of yourself. The power of philosophy is that it doesn't just improve your life, it transforms it. Because philosophy is not knowledge, it's wisdom in motion. It's not about what you know, it's about what you practice. Everything you experience in life reflects your philosophy. The way you interpret success, failure, pain, or joy. Jim Rohn once said, if you will change, everything will change for you. That's not just motivation, it's a formula. You cannot control the economy, the weather, or other people. But you can control what you think about those things. That's power. That's where freedom begins. People wait for circumstances to improve before they improve their attitude. But winners understand that attitude creates the circumstance. If you wake up each day believing that growth is possible, that lessons hide in losses, that effort compounds into excellence. You become unstoppable. Life will still challenge you, but those challenges will refine you instead of breaking you. Your philosophy will become your shield in hardship and your sword in opportunity. The moment your inner world becomes stronger than your outer world, the game changes. That's when you step from average to extraordinary, from wishful thinking to purposeful living. Your personal philosophy is the foundation on which every part of your life stands. It's the invisible force shaping your thoughts, your actions, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. Jim Rohn often said, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. And within that simple line lies the code to transform an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. Most people spend their years chasing outcomes, money, success, recognition, without realizing that all outcomes are just reflections of their inner beliefs. The way you think about life determines how you live it. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. That's the power of personal philosophy. Imagine two people standing in the same field, under the same sky, facing the same circumstances. One sees opportunity, the other sees limitation. One decides to act, the other decides to wait. The difference between them isn't in luck or talent. It's in the philosophy that governs their mind. Your philosophy is like the lens through which you view the world. If that lens is cloudy with doubt, fear, or excuses, then everything you see will appear impossible. But when your philosophy is clean, sharp, built on discipline, purpose, and self-belief, you begin to see possibilities where others see problems. Every day, life hands you a set of tools, time, energy, and choice. How you use them depends on how you think. The person who believes that effort compounds will invest every hour wisely. The one who believes success is luck will waste time waiting for a miracle. Your philosophy determines which person you become. It shapes how you interpret failure, whether you see it as an ending or as feedback. It defines how you treat others, whether with gratitude or resentment. It influences how you respond to struggle, whether you grow bitter or better. The results in your life are not random. They are mirrors reflecting your inner philosophy back at you. Jim Rohn taught that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated over time. But where do those disciplines and errors come from? They come from your philosophy. If you believe that small actions don't matter, you'll ignore them. And one day, you'll wonder why your life feels stuck. If you believe that growth is constant, you'll never stop improving. And soon, your results will astonish even you. Change your philosophy, and you automatically change your habits. Change your habits, and you change your entire future. The truth is, most people don't take time to examine their philosophy. They live on autopilot, repeating thoughts they inherited from others. They think as their parents thought, as their friends think, as their society expects them to think. But personal philosophy is not about repeating what others believe. It's about questioning what you believe. It's about asking, why do I think the way I think? Does this belief serve my growth? Am I living by design or by default? The moment you begin asking these questions, your life starts to shift. Awareness is the first spark of transformation. Once you become aware of your own thinking, you gain the power to change it. Jim Rohn used to say that each of us must stand guard at the door of our mind, because ideas are like seeds. Whatever you plant will grow. If you allow negativity, fear, and gossip to enter your mind daily, they will take root and choke out your potential. But if you feed your mind with knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration, your garden will bloom. Reading great books, listening to powerful mentors, surrounding yourself with disciplined, positive people. These are not random acts. They are conscious acts of shaping your philosophy. And the more intentional you become about what you allow in, the more powerful your philosophy becomes. Think about your goals, your relationships, your dreams. Every one of them is a product of how you think. If your philosophy says, I can't, you'll stop before you start. If your philosophy says, I will find a way, you'll keep searching until you succeed. The size of your dream will always match the strength of your belief. That's why the most valuable thing you can ever invest in is your mindset. Because when your thinking changes, your results have no choice but to follow. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. But change begins within. You don't need to wait for the perfect day, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect person to arrive. You already have everything you need: your mind, your time, and your willpower. Your philosophy decides how you use them. Some people spend their time complaining about the problem. Others spend their time creating the solution. Some see effort as pain. Others see effort as progress. The same world, the same challenges, completely different lives, all because of a different way of thinking. So what is your personal philosophy? Is it built on fear or faith, on scarcity or abundance, on reaction or responsibility? Your answer determines your direction. The greatest tragedy is not that people aim too high and miss, it's that they aim too low and hit. The key is to upgrade the operating system of your mind, to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones, to move from doubt to discipline, from hesitation to action, from wishing to working. That is where transformation begins. Your personal philosophy is not just a belief, it's a strategy for living. It's the quiet compass that guides your decisions, the voice that whispers when no one is watching, the invisible architect behind every visible success. The way you think today writes the story you live tomorrow. And when your philosophy aligns with growth, gratitude, and greatness, life begins to open its treasures before you, not by chance, but by choice. Your personal philosophy is your internal compass, the invisible hand that quietly guides every decision, every reaction, and every step you take. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build slowly, intentionally, through the experiences you live, the books you read, and the people you choose to listen to. Jim Rohn said, "Stand guard at the door of your mind," and those few words carry the weight of an entire life's direction. Because whatever enters your mind begins to shape your philosophy, and your philosophy, in turn, shapes your future. Every thought you allow in becomes a builder or a breaker of your destiny. Imagine two individuals facing the same challenge, a job loss, a business failure, a broken dream. One person says, "This is the end." The other says, "This is where I start again." One gives up, the other grows up. The difference is not luck or background. It's the philosophy through which they interpret life. Your philosophy acts like a filter. It decides what meaning you attach to events. You can see pain as punishment or as preparation. You can see failure as defeat or as education. Whatever you believe becomes your reality. Life itself doesn't change. The meaning you assign to it does. That's why two people can live through the same storm and come out with entirely different futures because of the philosophy they chose to live by. The danger is that most people never consciously choose their philosophy. They inherited absorbent beliefs from family, teachers, friends, and society without ever questioning if those beliefs truly serve them. They grow up hearing things like, "Money is hard to earn," "Success is for lucky people," or "I'm just not that kind of person." And they carry those invisible limits into adulthood. They never stop to ask, who said that? Is it true? Does it have to be true for me? The greatest act of freedom a human being can perform is to question the beliefs that hold them back. Because your philosophy isn't fixed, it's flexible. It can evolve, expand, and completely reinvent itself the moment you decide to feed your mind with better ideas. You see, philosophy is the bridge between knowledge and action. It's not just about what you know. It's about how you interpret what you know. You can read hundreds of books, attend seminars, and listen to countless mentors, but if you don't translate that knowledge into a guiding philosophy, it remains noise. Jim Rohn used to say that ideas are like a table full of good food. Wisdom only nourishes you when you eat it. You have to absorb it, reflect on it, and make it part of who you are. You have to build a philosophy strong enough to withstand pressure, temptation, and disappointment, because life will test it. Every day, your philosophy decides how you respond to life's challenges. When you face criticism, your philosophy decides whether you break down or level up. When you fail, it decides whether you stay down or stand taller. When you succeed, it decides whether you grow humble or arrogant. In short, your philosophy decides whether you rise or fall. That's why developing a strong, empowering philosophy is the greatest investment you can make in yourself. It pays interest in confidence, resilience, and peace of mind. To build it, you must be intentional about your inputs. Feed your mind with powerful voices. Listen to people who make you think bigger, not smaller. Read books that stretch your imagination. Spend time with those who challenge you to evolve. not those who comfort your mediocrity. Because the conversations you entertain become the codes that write your beliefs. The words you hear daily become the script you live by. You can't think success while surrounding yourself with defeat. You can't grow while feeding on gossip and negativity. The soil of your mind will produce whatever seeds you plant. So plant wisdom, plant discipline, plant courage. Jim Rohn once shared a truth that has echoed for generations. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But it's deeper than just company. It's philosophy transfer. The people around you are constantly influencing how you see life, how you interpret effort, and how you respond to adversity. If you spend time with complainers, you'll start to complain. If you spend time with doers, you'll start to act. If you spend time with thinkers, you'll start to dream. Your environment becomes your philosophy's mirror. Choose it with care because it's shaping your destiny even when you don't notice it. Your personal philosophy is also your most honest reflection in the mirror. It determines how much discipline you bring to your daily actions, how much hope you carry in your heart, and how much patience you show when results take time. It defines how you treat people when no one's watching, and how you handle pressure when life turns against you. A person with a strong philosophy doesn't crumble. When times get hard, they adapt, learn, and rise stronger. Because they've trained their mind to see the lesson in every loss, the purpose in every pain, and the seed of victory in every challenge. When you start crafting your own philosophy, you stop living as a reaction and start living as a creation. You no longer let moods or opinions drive your direction. You begin to act with clarity, with conviction, and with consistency. You start to build habits that serve your vision, not your comfort. You start saying no to distractions and yes to growth. You begin to carry yourself with quiet confidence because you're not swayed by every wave of life. You know where you're sailing. The beauty of a personal philosophy is that it's yours. It's not borrowed. It's earned through reflection, struggle, and experience. It's the wisdom you extract from your failures, the courage you gather from your fears, and the principles you discover in your pursuit of purpose. Once it's built, it becomes your internal compass, steady, calm, and unshakable no matter how stormy life becomes. And as Jim Rohn said, when you change your philosophy, you change everything. Because philosophy doesn't just improve your life, it transforms who you are from the inside out. Everything you experience in life, every success, every failure, every joy, every heartbreak, is filtered through the lens of your personal philosophy. It's the invisible framework that determines how you see the world, how you react to it, and how you grow within it. Jim Rohn said, if you will change, everything will change for you. That single statement captures the essence of power hidden within your personal philosophy. Because you can't control the economy, the weather, or other people. You can't stop challenges from coming. But you can always control how you interpret, process, and respond to them. And that control is where your true strength begins. Most people spend their entire lives trying to fix what's on the outside, hoping for better circumstances, easier days, or kinder people, without realizing that the outside world is just a mirror reflecting what's within. Change the reflection. You have to change the source. That source is your philosophy. It's your set of guiding beliefs about life, effort, discipline, and possibility. Some people believe that life happens to them. Others believe that life happens for them. That single shift in philosophy separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. Your philosophy shapes your perception of everything. When a problem shows up, your philosophy decides whether you panic or prepare. When opportunity knocks, it decides whether you hesitate or act. When life disappoints you, it decides whether you grow bitter or better. You can't escape the storms of life, but you can learn how to sail through them. And that ability doesn't come from skill or luck. It comes from the philosophy you've built. A strong philosophy acts like armor for your spirit. It shields you from negativity, strengthens your focus, and gives you the courage to move forward when everything else tries to pull you back. Jim Rohn often reminded his audience that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. But that bridge is built on philosophy, because until you believe that discipline matters, you'll never practice it. Until you believe that small actions make a big difference, you'll never stay consistent. Until you believe that change is possible, you'll never attempt it. Philosophy is what turns intention into action. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders. It's the quiet power that shapes your habits, and your habits, over time, shape your destiny. You see, the difference between a winner and a loser is not intelligence. It's interpretation. Two people can face the same obstacle, but their outcomes will be worlds apart simply because of how they think about that obstacle. One person sees defeat, the other sees direction. One says, "Why me?" The other says, "Try me." One feels cursed, the other feels challenged. The situation doesn't change, the philosophy does. That's why every great success story starts with an internal transformation before an external one. When you strengthen your mind, the world begins to respond differently. But building a strong personal philosophy doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong process, a practice of self-examination, learning, and realignment. You must question your assumptions. You must unlearn the beliefs that limit you. You must expose yourself to ideas that challenge your comfort zone. Read books that stretch your mind. Listen to voices that call you higher. Reflect on your experiences, not just as events, but as lessons. Every success can teach you discipline. Every failure can teach you humility. The moment you stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for your growth, you begin to access the deeper power of your philosophy. A powerful philosophy also changes your emotional language. You begin to speak differently to yourself. Instead of saying, "I can't," you start saying, "I'll find a way." Instead of, "I failed," you say, "I learned." Instead of, "I'm unlucky," you say, "I'm in training." Words are not just sounds, they are the signals of belief. Change your language, and you begin to reshape your internal reality. Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills." That's the essence of a growth-oriented philosophy. It transforms every challenge into an invitation to become stronger. Your philosophy also determines your relationship with time. People who have a weak philosophy waste time chasing quick fixes and instant gratification. Those with a strong philosophy understand that true success is built layer by layer, day by day, choice by choice. They see consistency as a superpower, patience as an investment, and persistence as proof of belief. They don't rush the process. They trust it. Because they know that the harvest always comes to those who plant the right seeds, nurture them daily, and never stop showing up, even when results are invisible. Every area of your life reflects your philosophy. Your finances, your relationships, your health, your happiness. If your philosophy about money is based on fear, you'll never take financial risks. If your philosophy about love is built on insecurity, you'll sabotage connection. If your philosophy about work is rooted in laziness, your career will always feel like a burden. But when your philosophy is grounded in responsibility, gratitude, and growth, you begin to thrive in all these areas. You stop blaming, stop comparing, and start creating. You stop waiting for opportunities and start becoming the kind of person who attracts them. The magic happens when your inner world becomes stronger than your outer world. When your peace is not stolen by someone's opinion. When your purpose is not shaken by temporary failure. When your joy doesn't depend on what you have, but on who you're becoming. That's when you become truly powerful. That's when you stop chasing motivation and start living by principles. Life will always test you, but with the right philosophy, those tests become training. You'll fall, but you'll fall forward. You'll fail, but you'll fail intelligently. You'll hurt, but you'll heal with purpose. Your philosophy is your private code of living. It's how you interpret life's signals, how you respond to its seasons, and how you create meaning from its chaos. The moment you take ownership of your mind, your emotions, and your reactions, you reclaim your power. You become the author of your own story. You stop being a passenger and start steering the ship. And that's the truth Jim Rohn wanted the world to understand. Success doesn't start with circumstances. It starts with philosophy. Once you master that, everything else in your life begins to follow. There comes a time in every life when a person must stop and look in the mirror. Not just to see a reflection, but to see the truth of who they have become. You and I are not here by accident. We are here because life, in its mysterious wisdom, gave us a choice to drift or to drive, to wait or to work, to wish or to build. Jim Rohn said, "You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself." And that, my friend, is the power that makes the ordinary extraordinary. The decision to take responsibility for our philosophy, our mindset, and our direction. You see, life is not waiting for you to be ready. It's happening right now. The days are passing, the clock is ticking, and every hour is casting a vote for the kind of future you will live in. The question is not whether life will give you opportunities. It will. The question is whether you will be ready for them when they come. That readiness does not come from luck. It comes from preparation. It comes from philosophy. Because when your philosophy is strong, your future becomes predictable. Not because you control everything, but because you control yourself. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Don't let average ideas talk you out of an exceptional destiny. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the quiet wisdom inside you that says, "I can't, I must, I will." People will doubt you. Circumstances will test you. Life will challenge you in ways you can't imagine. But remember this, diamonds are not born in comfort. They are born in pressure. The moment life turns up the heat, don't ask for less struggle. Ask for stronger character. Don't pray for an easier path. Pray for broader shoulders. Because every storm that shakes you is also shaping you into something powerful, something unbreakable, something unstoppable. There will be days when you feel invisible, when your effort seems unnoticed, when your dreams seem too far away to touch. But that's where philosophy steps in. That's when your inner voice must whisper louder than the world's noise. Keep going. You're not done yet. Because success doesn't come to those who move when it's easy. It comes to those who move when it's hard. Discipline will ask you to keep walking when motivation is gone. Vision will ask you to keep believing when evidence says otherwise. And philosophy, your personal philosophy, will be the invisible hand guiding you through the fog, reminding you that temporary pain is never greater than permanent purpose. Jim Rohn taught that life is like the seasons. You can't change them, but you can learn to work with them. When winter comes, don't curse the cold. Build your fire. When spring arrives, plant with all your heart. When summer shines, protect what you've planted. And when autumn comes, reap with gratitude. That's the rhythm of life. That's wisdom. Every season, every chapter, every challenge is your classroom, and your philosophy decides whether you learn or complain. The farmer who blames the rain misses the harvest. The thinker who blames the world misses the lesson. But the wise one, the one who listens, reflects, and grows, turns every trial into treasure. And isn't that what life is about? Growth. Not perfection, not comparison, but continuous conscious growth. You were not meant to stay the same. You were meant to evolve, to expand, to unfold. Your personal philosophy is not a wall, it's a window. Through it, you can see the endless horizon of who you can become. The moment you believe that there is more inside you than what the world sees, you begin to awaken the power that has been sleeping within you all along. That's when life starts to respond. That's when doors begin to open. That's when ordinary days begin to turn into extraordinary moments. But you have to decide. You have to take charge of your mind like a captain takes charge of his ship. Don't drift with the current. Set your sails. Don't wait for the wind. Adjust your direction. Don't ask for the storm to pass. Learn to steer through it. Because life doesn't reward the uncertain. It rewards the decisive. And every great life is built on a foundation of simple, consistent, unshakable philosophies. Belief in effort, belief in growth, belief in personal responsibility. You don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to take the next step. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have the courage to ask better questions. What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Who can I become through this? Those are the questions that shape a life worth living. And every time you ask them, your philosophy sharpens like a sword, ready to cut through confusion, fear, and doubt. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, don't let your day begin by accident. Begin it with intention. Don't say, I have to go to work. Say, I get to build my future. Don't say, I'm tired. Say, I'm training. Don't say, it's too hard. Say, it's making me stronger. Because your words shape your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your world. The world doesn't respond to your needs. It responds to your philosophy. You have greatness within you. Not in some distant future. Not in some special circumstance. Right now, in this moment, you have the power to think differently, to act differently, to become different. The power to rise above excuses, to reject mediocrity, to craft a philosophy so strong that nothing outside of you can shake what's inside you. Jim Rohn said, success is something you attract by the person you become. So become that person, disciplined, determined, and deeply driven. Let your character speak louder than your comfort. Let your purpose outshine your pain. Let your philosophy lead your destiny. Because in the end, life is not about what you get. It's about what you give, who you become, and what you leave behind. The question isn't whether you can change the world. It's whether you can first change yourself. And once you do, the world will have no choice but to change with you. So rise, think higher, work harder, believe deeper. Craft a philosophy that commands respect from the universe itself. Because when you do that, you'll no longer chase success, you'll attract it. You'll no longer wish for greatness. You'll live it. And that, my friend, is the ultimate power of personal philosophy.